This is Chris, the Idaho Painter, here on Paint Live TV, and I'm at the United Hardware Show in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Another really cool show, a lot of really cool products, and I've been to quite a few shows in the past, and I ran into one booth that I don't know if I've ever been this excited about a product before, and I brought the gentleman over here, the creator of the product, what it is right here, Green Sheen. This is the booth and the product, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to ask him some questions and to share what this is all about. It is recycled paint, so this is pretty exciting. So why don't you just introduce yourself to the audience here? Tell me who you are.
All right. So I'm Kevin Callahan. I was a painting contractor for many, many years and had a warehouse full of paint that I couldn't get rid of. So I recycled my own leftover paint and started using it in my painting contracting business. And here we are today as we're actually paint recyclers and paint manufacturers at this point, and have kind of worked our way out of the painting, the houses industry, and into the recycling industry.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing, Kevin. So you created this product, and this is recycled paint, and you recycle paints. And this is interesting because how much paint is actually being taken to dumps and being dumped in landfills? Is there quite a bit?
Yeah, there's incredible volumes. Every year in the United States, the EPA estimates that there's about 850 million gallons of paint sold in the United States, just architectural standard latex paints. And they estimate that about 10% of that goes unused and ends up ultimately going to landfills. So that's about 85 million gallons a year that's going into a landfill.
That is just absolutely incredible. And so then here again, so I mean, is paint bad? Is it bad to go into the landfill? I mean, it's a water-based product. Is it bad to dump it into the ground? Is it?
Well, as a general rule of thumb, paint with lower VOCs now and all that kind of stuff that, all these regulations have put in place over the last few years, it's not nearly as bad as it was in the past. But it's anytime you're putting 85 million gallons of anything into a landfill, it's going to be a problem, especially when it's a liquid. Paint is primarily, it's a water-based paint. It's primarily water, but it has a lot of other chemicals and whatnot into it. And even in liquid waste landfills where it's disposed of correctly, number one, if you're disposing of it correctly, it's still 85 million gallons, which is just an unbelievable volume. But there's a bunch of alcohols and surfactants, drying agents, you name it, in latex paint. Even though it's primarily water-based, there's still a lot of chemicals in there that are going into our landfills every year. And I'm a dad also. I have a wife, I have kids. When I started this company, I didn't start an eco-friendly company. I started a company that was a necessity to feed my family. But at the same time, I thought, if you can do something good for the environment while building a company, why not?
So where do you get the paint, and what happens with the paint when you get it?
Well, there's somewhat of an infrastructure in place across the country. In just about any city or town, there's some sort of household hazardous waste collection operation somewhere collecting paint. Many towns don't have anything, but there's a legislative process now in place called Paint Care. They're going into individual states, and they're introducing what they're calling extended producer responsibility, EPR legislation, which means that manufacturers have to take some responsibility for their product. So what that does is it puts into effect in a lot of states a collection infrastructure that used to be a situation in which they were collecting it, sending it to landfills, and burying it in landfills. Well, now they're collecting it, sending it to latex paint recyclers like ourselves. We're turning it back into brand new paint, keeping it out of landfills.
And so this is one of your cans. So you package it, just repackage it right into gallons and fives.
Yep.
And is there a warranty to this paint?
Yeah, absolutely. We warranty all of our product for 3 years. We kind of realize 3 years is not an extensive lifetime warranty or something like that. But as a general rule of thumb, our outlook on warranty is, if you have a problem with our product, let us know, we're going to replace it. So what's printed on the can, it says 3 years, we really ought to just go ahead and print lifetime warranty on it, because we're not concerned about replacing 15 gallons of your paint if our product fails. We're going to stand behind it. But as a general rule of thumb, it doesn't fail any more than normal paint does. We're not doing anything crazy with this stuff. We're taking paints from major manufacturers, we're cleaning them up, we're filtering them, and we're putting them back into our buckets. We're not creating a new product. We're just simply cleaning up an existing product that a major manufacturer already built that was heading to a landfill. So it doesn't fail any more often than normal paint does.
And I noticed you guys had these, so it looks like to me a color card. And so can somebody just come in and say, hey, I want this color paint and this from this brand of company? Or it looks like you have specific colors that you make on a regular basis. Is that what this card's all about?
That's exactly what this card's all about. We make 18 pre-tinted colors that are ready for use as is in the can. Now those colors can also be custom tinted to match just about anything you'd ever want, but we don't custom tint them using virgin tints or new products. We actually custom tint them by intermixing our colors together. You know, if we have a color of tan, the color you want is redder than our color, we can mix our red into it to literally custom match just about anything the customer's looking for.
And what would be the accuracy of the tinting process you guys do?
I would say 99.5% accurate just every time.
Just absolutely incredible. And I know I've seen, so you guys showed me at your booth, and that was one of my major concerns is, you know, the accuracy, touching up and stuff like that. I saw where you guys had a color card, and then you had samples that were literally done months later that were completely, you know, done at different times, and I couldn't even tell the difference. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So do you guys, when you create, say, a batch of paint, is there something that identifies, you know, like lot, or whatever? How do you go about doing that?
So when we manufacture any one of our products, we have a control color that we are matching back to. So let's say it's our gray. We have a control color of gray, we mix everything in big vats, at least 650 gallons at a time. So that's actually a big advantage to our product. As you know, as a painting contractor for many, many years, I can remember so many times getting to a job site and I had a 5-gallon bucket and 2 singles that had been individually tinted, and you know, one of the singles doesn't match the other 6 gallons. Well, in our situation, we're making everything in big vats. Every gallon that comes out of a batch is guaranteed to be the same color because it was all made at the same time. And then on the label, there's going to be a batch number printed on there, a batch number and the name of the color. And then this sample right here is actually the physical paint that came out that is in this can. This isn't a printer's representation of the color. This is physically paint on a sticker that is in that can. So
wow.
Batch numbers, the entire batch is guaranteed to be the same color, and there's a representation of the color right on the can.
Not only does the paint go to landfill, so if I take this gallon of paint that's, say, you know, half full, it's got a lid on it, I'm going to send this thing to the landfill. Well, there's metal, there's plastic, there's paper, there's paint in it. And to what extent, I mean, I know you're recycling the paint, but do we recycle anything else? Because there's a lot of resources that went into this whole can right here. So what all do we recycle of this?
Well, so the steel cans, when paint is packaged in a steel 1-gallon can, that's super, super simple, easy to do. That any of the steel recyclers will take that stuff, we crush it, we send the can off to the steel recycler after it's been emptied of its content. The plastic's a little bit harder to do. There are a few companies in the United States who will take that plastic for recycling, so we ship the plastic off to a local company, has 2 facilities in the United States. We try to keep everything in the United States to any extent that we possibly can. We ship the plastic off once the paint's been emptied from it, and then we buy product back from that same manufacturer. So this can is actually made of recycled content plastic.
Wow.
You know, one can goes out, gets ground up, turned back into a can, and we buy the can back to package our product in.
So there's another thing. I was out to dinner with, I didn't learn this from you, but one of your employees, is not only do you recycle latex paint, but you guys take aerosol cans and oil-based paints. And what do you do with an aerosol can?
Well, we run it through a little machine that evacuates all the contents out of it, take the paint out of it. Now the steel itself is just going to go to a steel recycler, just like any other piece of steel would. The paint that came out of it actually has BTU value, so it's gone off to other companies, other hazardous waste companies primarily, to be what they call fuel blended, meaning that it's being used as an alternative fuel to be burnt as opposed to burning virgin product.
So would you paint your own house with this paint?
Absolutely. Not only would I everything I own is painted with this paint. I was a painting contractor for years. In Colorado, there's probably 300 homes that I painted with this paint in Colorado. some of which the customer requested that we use recycled content paint, some of which they just accepted that we use recycled content paint because it was a little bit less expensive. My house though, interior, exterior, everything on my house is painted with our paint. In fact, on the exterior of my house, half of it is painted with my paint. The other half is painted with a major manufacturer's product.
I commend you for what you've done. This is incredible. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about what Kevin is doing, how can they find out about this stuff? Where can they get information?
So our website is greensheenpaint.com. We're easy to find. Go on any search engine and look up recycled paint. We are almost impossible to not find, but if you want to go direct to our site, it's greensheenpaint.com. We have over 200 retailers across the country, so probably somebody right down the street from wherever you live is selling our product. We're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I know you're going to send me some of the product. I got an exterior I'm going to be testing it on. I'm very excited. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to shoot a video doing a whole exterior with the product, and I'll let you know, what I think about it. But, this is amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the time with Kevin here at the United Hardware Show in Minneapolis. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you want to see more information. If you have questions, I'm sure people got a lot of questions and comments about this. Leave them down below. I'll get a hold of Kevin personally. We'll get your questions answered, or maybe Kevin will follow this video. He's got a great staff that could probably answer your questions too. You're watching this video. Leave them down below. Like us, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We'll see you out.